on YouTube, Danny. So we're gonna just be talking about what Nvidia and Palantir right now, and lots of yellow candles, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
unfortunately.
boy.
Getting scary, except for Palantir, no yellow candle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, still, I can find a yellow candle on the daily chart of Palantir.
Ooh.
But I will just let you know the level that the yellow candle can be engulfed.
Okay. Well, we'll do Nvidia first since I have it on the screen
Okay,
here,
sure.
and this is the daily chart for Nvidia. And yeah, that daily yellow candle happened like last week, basically,
Yeah,
or a week
and the
ago.
yellow candle actually appeared when Nvidia was trading at $128. And looking back, see how accurate that yellow candle has been.
Yes.
I really wish that it had been inaccurate.
But you can't wish because it's accurate.
Yes, yeah. Okay, so it seems to me that in panel one there are three tops, based on the CSEC. So the first top is 140 something, and the second top is 137, and the last top is 130. So you will find that on the daily chart, the daily candles have been doing something like lower high and lower low. And this trend has also aligned with a steady decrease in wealth accumulation in panel 3, the decrease in red bars, as you can see. And one thing that I don't like in panel 1 is that the blue ribbon is in formation, which means that the downtrend will be coming. Yeah, the blue ribbon.
Oh, the blue ribbon right here.
Blue
Yes,
ribbon right on top. Yeah,
it's
on panel
developing.
one. Yeah.
It's developing in panel 1. And look at the previous trend. When the blue ribbon is developing, those daily candles will be making lower highs and lower lows. So probably such downtrend will persist for a while.
Yeah.
And also in panel 2, you will find that the trend line has gone from purple to green, which is an indication of the bullish, the shift from bullish sentiment to bearish sentiment. And those green bars in panel 2 are also making lower highs and lower low. So when you see, okay, actually, one more sharing is that when you see those green bars below the green trend line, that would be an indication that the downtrend will persist or accelerate.
Yeah.
So not a good trend actually for Nvidia on the daily chart. And also, if you take a look at panel 3, we find strong retail accumulation as well. So it seems to me that the retail is more than the well for the time being on the daily chart. So remember when we look at all these retail and well ratio, we have to make sure that the wells really account for 50%, so that the bullish trend can develop.
Yeah.
So in this case, let me double check the well accumulation on the daily charts. That would be sort of, let me see.
I guess there are a couple of things too. Hey guys.
25.7%, which is quite low.
Yeah.
So that explains why Nvidia lacks the momentum.
Do you think we're right at support though on your volume shelf, or are we a little bit underneath
Oh,
on that?
let me double check.
Yeah, because I feel like we're hitting some support zone right there. It doesn't mean that it's not going to go lower, but just want to see what the bar is at.
So the volume shelf support the updated ones will be around 102 to 104. So within this range.
It's currently where the price is at right now.
Yeah, exactly. So so the next week, if we find the price level which goes beyond this strong support level, that is in the range of 102 and 104. So probably we would find Nvidia keeps going down.
How low do you think it'll go?
I think 94, 95, and actually the strongest support line on the daily chart will be somewhere between 93 to 94.
Yeah, I'm seeing something similar, like 96 to like 94. Yeah.
So let's not talk about very low level, because that is scary to most people, and they will just keep asking me whether they have to sell Nvidia. For stocks like Nvidia, it's not advisable to trade in and trade out in order to miss the midterm bullish run.
I mean, I think it's important to if you're going to trade the move, you should show the resistance right there around 126.
Exactly. I think if people really like to trade, they have to look at the yellow candle, and they have to act the next day when the yellow candle shows up. So for now, it's too late.
Yeah, and then right now it's actually I understand what you're saying with the blue ribbon being formed right now, but like price is getting further and further away from the ribbon, and as it does, I think that like overall, and this is a daily chart, overall price like to gravitate back towards the mean, so it likes to gravitate back towards the ribbon at some point, right? I don't know how far overextend it's going to go to the downside, but the further it goes, I think the better opportunity would be, right? I think again, you can wait for red candle to act as a confirmation.
I think we have to wait for the red candle as the final confirmation to the completion of the bottoming process. People just like to time the bottom, and unfortunately, we retail don't know when the bottom is. So we have to wait. We have to be patient.
But I think like if you have a position, like it may not make sense to sell now that it's like further and further away from resistance. I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm not saying if you're looking for an entry to try to time the bottom, because I don't think anybody really knows exactly where the bottom is going to be. But if you're holding a position and if you didn't sell at 120s, like I don't know if it like I guess you can try to sell and try to buy back, but the problem is like a lot of people, if they sell, they don't know when to buy back. So that's another issue too.
And sometimes people don't. Okay, so some people don't believe in the yellow candle. They think that it might be just it might just be momentary. Because it does happen. Sometimes there might be a red candle to engulf it, but so far for Nvidia, the yellow candle has always been reliable and accurate based on my experiences and observations.
Yeah.
You want to go to the weekly chart and see what you're seeing?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go to the weekly chart here. Yeah. So there it is, a yellow candle again.
Yes. And it looks like the pattern is going to repeat if we compare this yellow candle with the first one from the left. So the first one from the left actually appeared in the week of so that would be August, the middle of August last year. So as you can see, the first yellow candle was engulfed by the red one, and after that, another yellow candle developed, and that lasts for 7 weeks. So I don't know whether this historical pattern will repeat, but it just gives me the sense that usually when we see the yellow candle on the weekly chart, we might have to be patient instead of timing the bottom. So probably such yellow candle may last for 3 to 7 weeks. But the good thing is that in panel 3, even though we have 5 yellow candles on the weekly chart, we still find very strong wealth accumulation, overall speaking.
Yeah, still 86%, right?
Yeah, exactly. So as mentioned before, the yellow candle doesn't necessarily mean the downtrend. It could just refer to the sideways movements. And people are just not happy if Nvidia is moving sideways because they expect Nvidia to rise every day, every week. But probably for the time being, we have to be patient instead of rushing into the market to time the bottom.
One thing to just see the chart, if you look at the RSI, is really, really
Wow,
bottoming out.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Good sharing, Cat. So let me.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see that there's a lot of hidden bullish divergence that's been building up too. Like there was a lot of bearish divergence before, but I think it's already played out, and now there's a lot of hidden bullish divergence that's been building out.
Yeah, and also you would find that so actually let me see, RSI 9 is around 43. So every time it hits 43, 44, Nvidia will be picking up the momentum. So I'm not sure whether this time Nvidia will be doing the same, but actually that would be a good signal to observe as well, because the RSI is really low on the weekly chart. It's not over so, but historically we find this bottom level if we check the RSI on the weekly chart.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get really scared by your yellow candles, and I think it's important to take a step back and say, yeah, I mean, if you're a trader, you should follow them. If
Exactly.
yeah, but you also don't follow them blindly. You have to look at other things. You could look at well accumulation trend. You have to look at RSI. You have to look at like the support and resistance level. Like right now, I think you also on here on panel 1, you also have a volume shelf that is pretty close at right. I don't know if you can see the volume shelf on the left right there, the blue bar.
Oh, the blue bar right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah.
What's that
price right there?
So actually, the blue bar would be around 88 to 91.
Okay.
Around.
Yeah. So you're getting some pretty decent support down underneath below. I mean, we kind of went back there to back test it a little bit already. But maybe it goes back and do it again. Who knows? Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah. So there might be the double bottom as well. Who knows?
Does it scare you that the weekly candle closed below the red ribbon?
So let me double check. So actually, if you go back to the historical trend, some light blue candles also closed below the red ribbon. But still, the red ribbon it's just moving sideways. There's no blue ribbon information for the time being. So probably we need to keep observing the trend.
Yeah, it's also important to note that the red candle a couple of weeks ago also didn't really work out, right? So we have a lot of volatility here over the last 6 weeks. We have yellow candle, red candle, yellow candle. And it's just been zigzagging, like you were saying. On the daily time frame, it looks like things are, going on a downtrend. On this time frame, it looks like it's just been going sideways. I think the monthly might shed some light, but I do think that there's some.
Yeah, but monthly still looks very bullish. Very strong combination.
Right. When in doubt, zoom out. Right, and even on the weekly, I'm starting to see a lot of bullish divergence being built out here. So.
Yeah. And not every candle plays out. Like this red candle didn't play out at all, right?
Yeah.
And neither did this one over here. So it's like sometimes there could be a false signal too, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the key is looking at how strong the well accumulation still is, and looking at a higher time frame. I think that would tell you a little bit more.
All right. So overall, we're still pretty bullish on Nvidia, though, right?
Yeah.
Whether it goes down to
we need your confirmation,
90s.
Matt. We need your target price for Nvidia so that people are not scared.
Well, before we go, I can show if you want. Before we go to Palantir, I can show and just share mine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me just pull up.
Dollar Tree. No.
Yeah, let me just pull up Dollar Tree because that's exciting. Actually, it kind of is. It was down 20%. That's huge.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. Why do I have the 2-week chart? Oh, because of you. That's why, Cat.
It's the belly button. That's what Traeger was talking about.
No, but the 2-week chart does tell Tesla everything. It tells the story.
Yeah.
completely. So yeah, here's my NVIDIA chart, and NVIDIA is so if I just want to zoom out here and just show you guys what things look like on the weekly chart without any other indicators, we can see the symmetry of everything with like that was the last level right there, the orange level. So it was a big resistance over time, and then it broke above, and then it got to the blue level right here, and then it back tested it. So because this orange level was super important right here, I think this blue level is going to be super important. And where does that sit? It sits at 96, right? So I think it already back tested it once, and it even went down to the bottom of the arc to back test that arc as well. So the market symmetry of this is still very, very beautiful. And I think a previous resistance right here, resistance at 96, flipping it to a support, right? So that's what I see right now for NVIDIA. So I think no matter what's going to happen, I think it's going to go back down there, right? Because it closed back below my angle here, back below the arc. Even on the Ichimoku, it closed back below the baseline there too. So yeah, I see a minimum of 96 and maybe even going back down to the arc around 93 or a little bit below, right? So we'll see, right? And I think what they were mentioning on the spaces, if you go to the daily chart here, that the 200-day moving average is also down there at 89. Well, next week it might be around 90, right? Because it changes every single day, which would kind of match the low of this at 90.69. So it could just be like in the process of a double bottom here. So I think what it really looks like is nothing too scary, nothing too dangerous. I think it's just a normal process so far. But if it goes to 96 or even wicks below down towards these levels, I think that would be the opportunity, in my opinion. Yeah.
You want me to show my real quick? It'll take like a couple minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please, I'll put you on.
Okay. All right, I got mine shared. Yeah. So the biggest thing I was looking for was the lower Bollinger Band coming back. The lower Bollinger Band for the monthly is coming back in a big way. It is starting to contract. So I got to say this if you have to make some correlation, because I'm looking at past 3 cycles here. This is another cycle before, and this is another cycle before, right? And I was looking up here. I was like, I don't know, the trend looks like it might exhaust. You might still go up maybe 2, 3, or maybe even 4x, but I don't think we're going to make another 10x anymore. And unfortunately, low Bollinger Band right now is contracting, right? So we can kind of look and extrapolate in terms of where we were previously whenever you have such a big Bollinger Band contraction. Granted, this has only been the beginning, like 1 week. So this Bollinger Band, the calculation, it might still end up like come all the way back down here. We end up closing the month strong, right? So it doesn't have to be like contraction like you're seeing over here, right? Like you're seeing over here. It doesn't have to, right? But because this whole contraction is really happening based on price action for like the last week or so, which is like absolutely horrible. But if you're extrapolating the data, so you see like when the Bollinger Band really starts to come back, I guess like around August 2017 and around like January 2021, right? So if you look at the price action of what those prices did, I said, what is it, October 2017, somewhere around there. So you still got some juice left, right? Like maybe from like $4 to like $7, something like that. If you're going from here, maybe like January 2021, like it's just been going sideways, kind of like what we're doing right now. It still has some juice left. It went from like $13 all the way to like 35, right? So I think we're getting close to maybe another 2, 3, or 4x, but I don't know whether or not it's going to keep going. But it could keep going for another like 12 to 18 months potential, but we'll see how the month closes, because right now the Bollinger Band is really contracting. The RSI still looks okay. Like I'm not seeing necessarily any issues here, but I do think that on the next leg up, you're going to end up having some bearish diversions, and the trend is exhausting. So whenever you have price going up, the RSI probably not going to make a higher high anymore. It's probably going to end up, just kind of going down, while price continue to go up, maybe up to like 300-400 potentially. And then I think that might probably be the end of the cycle. That's kind of what I'm seeing.
All right.
Yeah. Take a deep breath,
Yeah, let's take a deep breath.
So do we go to Palantir then?
Let's do
Yes,
it.
please.
All right.
I think people are more excited to see Palantir.
You think so?
I think so.
Yeah, you
For
missed
those
our
who have
spaces
been
earlier. Garcia. First of all, like I think he was partying too hard last night. And I think
what do you guys here say about Palantir? Because
he's
I just
still broke, but he's very happy.
oh really?
But anyway, yeah, go for it, Danny.
So we only have the weekly chart, but
Yeah. The reason I didn't show my daily chart is that there was still one yellow candle on the daily chart, and the post-market price action has not been reflected on the daily chart. So that's why I try to focus on the weekly chart.
okay.
So back to the daily chart first. There was a yellow candle, and to engulf it, we need a daily close about 31.74. So as far as I remember, Palantir was doing 32 something in the post market.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if you're waiting for somebody to confirm. Yeah,
So
I think it was
that means
37,
that yellow
30,
candle
32.7 or
on the
something.
daily chart was invalid. It
Well,
was invalidated.
We got to wait till the Monday open, though, really. So we
Yes,
gotta,
but still, we don't know because it is not reflected on the daily chart. So we have to wait for the pre-market price actions next Monday. Okay, but for the time being, let's focus on the weekly chart of Palantir. So as you can see, we don't find any blue ribbon in panel 1. So the red ribbon keeps developing one by one. So this is a bullish stock. And at least it has been bullish for more than 1 year. And every time, I don't know whether Kat could remember. So every time we talk about Palantir, and people like to challenge us by telling us that Palantir would go down to $10, would go down to $15, whatever, to fill the gaps. And I remember that technical theory, something like head and shoulder pattern, and people like to challenge.
I spent my entire 2023 trying to fight the head and shoulder pattern that didn't work out.
Yes. So at least we came across head and shoulder patterns twice or three times before when we talked about Palantir. And of course, okay, that theory was varied for some time, but in the long run, it didn't hold water, So based on the weekly chart, we can find this beautiful red ribbon. And the reason that I keep accumulating, the reason I keep asking people not to sell Palantir is that I saw a very strong accumulation on my weekly chart. Even though the yellow candle show up twice. Let me see.
3 times, right?
Three
4
times.
times.
Okay.
4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah.
Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good observation. Yeah, and every time the yellow candle show up, we didn't find a very big decrease in wealth accumulation on the weekly chart. And that's the reason that I don't want to trade in and out in order to miss the long-term rally. Sometimes when you trade Palantir, for example, you sell at 20 and then you buy back at 18. I think I would suffer from some pressure, if Palantir is surging next week, So I think it's not a good idea to keep trading in and out sometimes. So for strong stock like Palantir, I would rather hold it. I would rather keep accumulating at every dip. Okay. Yes, Kat?
No, that's the Stanley Druckenmiller type mentality.
Yeah.
Like you don't trade in and out of a stock like Palantir.
Well,
Yeah.
also, like, look at this yellow candle, and then bam, the next week, a big red candle. So sometimes it's just like you said, just best to accumulate and watch it go up.
Yeah.
I think weekly is always a very tricky time frame. I think your daily chart and your monthly chart, the red and yellow candles are generally actually work out pretty better usually.
Yeah.
For some reason, weekly is just a really tricky time frame because they're trying to trick you from week to week.
Yeah, in panel 1, I try to include the yellow line to link up all these prices, upper levels and lower levels, and you will find a pattern which is the yellow candles have been doing higher highs and higher lows.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those charts that like,
Yeah. So people just people are just not meticulous enough to look at these yellow lines.
it's a bullish chart. Whenever you see a yellow candle, you might have some downside, but like
The red
overall,
ribbon
yeah,
is bullish, and the
yeah,
yellow lines higher, high, higher, low, and the second panel higher, high, higher, low, and the purple trend line has stayed intact. It is unchanged. It has been unchanged for more than 1 year. And panel three, the well accumulation, um, very strong, as you can see, more than 90.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's hot. It's very hot.
93 to be exact, right?
Yeah. Thanks, Matt, for
Yeah.
telling us the exact number. Yeah.
So even if there's some short-term volatility, overall, you would still not necessarily advise, but you're still for yourself not wanting to sell out of it. That's
Yeah.
if it
Because
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, because sometimes when you sell, for example, when you sell Palantir, or when the yellow candle appears, sometimes you might be tempted to buy others. I don't know whether you guys have this feeling. So when you sell stock A, and then when you
Yeah.
have the cash, then you are tempted to buy stock B, stock C, and
Yes.
stock B and C may not have the uptrend sometimes, and then you.
I have that experience for sure. Yeah, that's why I really hesitate to take profits from Palantir. Just
So that's why
for that reason. Yeah.
if the fundamentals are improving, if the story is developing, why do we have to sell?
Well, people just like to take profits, I guess. Right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. But I haven't sold actually. The last time I sold was like at 24.
we
And then I
haven't
bought again
sold
at 21.
any. Okay, so I know Cat hasn't sold a single share. I haven't sold a single share. And Matt, I think you are long.
Yeah, I'm gonna be long for a long time. I'm not gonna trade in and out anymore.
Yeah, and then to trade in and out, sometimes it's a waste of energy.
And stress too.
Yes, I
Yeah.
don't want to have this stress.
Because then
Yeah.
you have to figure out when to buy back in. I mean, it's
Yeah.
really tough to do.
I don't know whether you know one guy. He has kept selling cut for cold for Palantir, and he told me that he lost the majority of his shares.
Yeah, that happened. That happened to people with Tesla
It's
too.
quite risky. It's quite risky to buy options,
Yeah.
which I never do, because I have seen so many people losing big money in trading options. So that's why I try to avoid such risky play. I know options can give you high returns, but at the same time high risks.
Yeah. Unless like the only things I think is really safe with options, if you do deep in the money calls, like in the really long in the future, then that's kind of like owning the stock, because it's not guaranteed to go to zero. But if you do out of the money calls, they could be going to zero. So I think there's a big difference. So
Yeah, so I just particularly like this weekly trend, higher highs and higher lows. And if you look at the last part of the red ribbon in panel one, still there's a possibility of going higher.
Mm-hmm. We were just talking on Spaces earlier. I think a lot of folks are saying, hey, 30 may not be able to hold. Maybe we'll go back down to 28. What do you think about that, Danny?
Well, so actually, okay, let's think about this from the perspective of retail. So we all want to buy below 30, right? I'm sure, Kat, you are ready to buy.
Yeah, like if it goes to 28, I'm tempted to buy
Exactly.
more.
So
Yeah,
I have shared my strategy of buying Palantir at 27, 28. I'm not sure whether whales are willing to sell Palantir chip to us. But if all retail have been waiting for these trends, I don't know whether this will happen or not from the perspective of the whales. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't want to be cute about it. That's what I'm saying. I can totally see 30 holding too. I can see three scenarios. I can see if the S&P 500 craps the bed, and for whatever reason, and go to like even 25. I think it's possible. But if it's just doing its normal correction thing, and 28 is possible. I wouldn't hold my breath on it, but
Yeah.
I would like to buy at 28 or
Because,
even
when I talk to my friends, when I talk to my followers, it seems that the majority of people are just waiting for 25, 27, 28.
Yeah, kind of how they were waiting
And
when there
nobody,
was
it seems to me that nobody is going to buy at 30, 31.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like it's the same kind of sentiment I feel like on the way up to whenever price pump from single digits up to like 15, and everybody's just waiting for lower prices. Never
So
really.
I'm just wondering who is buying.
Well,
about 30.
that's why there's no retail accumulation, because they're all waiting, and then
Yes,
actually
we are
when
all
price,
waiting.
but then when price does get there, they're like, it's gonna go
Yeah.
lower, and they still don't buy.
And then we cancel our trade.
Yeah.
It happens over and over again. Like, if it gets here, I wish it gets here. I'm gonna buy it, but then when it gets there, they don't buy it.
Yeah. And even the monthly, like the monthly RSI is not really that high. Like it's still less than 70, and I still feel like there's no irrationality. The retailers are still like they might be interested, they might be looking for the outside, but they still haven't wanting to like FOMO yet. So
yeah.
So remember last time we shared about the resistance level on my monthly chart for Palantir, which is about $35 to $36, and that would also align with the target price of the cup and handle pattern on the weekly chart. Palantir might have the possibility of reaching 35 to 36 if the previous resistance level 33.1 is broken.
Yeah, and I kind of see that too right here with my angle and the arc. It sits up there at like 35.60, 35.70, 35.80. That's a big zone, and that's maybe later this month. So with that inclusion of that, I can see price going and hitting that, right? I really can. And especially when I go back to the linear scale chart here for Palantir, and just going to zoom out for you guys and take everything off. Take it all off. Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, it's like that Fibonacci level.
Yeah.
Right there. The 618. It's at 30.08, right? And it held the whole week. It's been holding, actually. We'll just zoom in here. It's been holding for weeks and weeks. Even like that scary, this is the daily chart here. Let me go to the weekly chart. Even the dailies, it's been holding above. But yeah, it's been holding week after week after week, and ever since that scary August 5th low, it's just been holding above. So I'm not sure it's ready to go to the 28s at all because of that 618, 30.08. So,
I think a lot of people underestimate the power of 0.618. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, because it's a very important level. And also what sits up there too, the 786 is around 36.64, right? So that's another indicator that this could be a new support zone, right? This could be the new trading range right here from the 618 all the way up to the 786, right? So this is looking more and more like it's the possibility of holding that $30 level is there. So I don't know if there's too much to worry about. Do you have a chart to share, Kat?
No, but if you can go back to the first scan that you were showing, where there's the confluence level, I want to take a look. So what's going to happen after it hits
this one or the log?
One? Yeah, the log. Yeah, what's going to happen after it hits 35? I guess is what I'm trying to figure out. That's the thing. You don't have much support down here on the log, right? So
not
I'm kind of curious if there's what you're thinking.
Well, on the log scale, it's more for like higher time frames is what I use it for. So like the higher time frames are going to be where the arc sits about 35, 60, and then above here about $40. So I think that's going to be the major targets in the near future. And then eventually it's going to be the blue level up here, which is like $100, 101.
Matt, can you show the time frame when Palantir really hits $100?
Well, if it maintained this angle as like a resistance or a support all the way up, it would be in September of 2025. Yeah.
Okay. I can show. Yeah, I can show just a couple things. Not going to take long. Let me just go ahead and share mine here. I mean, like I have this pitchfork that's been drawn here for quite some time. I don't think I've really changed it. It got pretty close to the top of my pitchfork here, and it got kind of a little bit rejected. I can. That's what I'm saying. I can actually see it kind of hitting, kind of like this diagonal line around like 28, 27, 28, somewhere around there. And that would be like a little bit of a back test of this level over here, with the wick over here, which is not at the end of the world. But I can also see like the 0.618 is a very important Fibonacci level. I'm also watching that it bounced from that. And you also have a pretty decent volume shelf over here that's bounced off of. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to be deterministic. Next thing you know, it could just be a back test of this wick over here, and that would still be technically to be sufficient for it to go up higher. I'm not really seeing too much, bearish divergence if it wants to go up higher. I think it's got plenty of room for it to go up higher even on the weekly, So and if you look at the Bollinger Band on the weekly, is the upper Bollinger Band is still expanding. So I think it's possible to hit like 35 in a few weeks, just like what Matt is saying. I can totally see that happening because there's room to go up probably over the next few weeks. I mean, the lower Bollinger Band is a little bit contracting here, but if it continues to like bounce off from here, it will continue to expand around to 35, 36. I can totally see that happening. Now, what happens after that, I don't know. Right.
Nobody knows. Yeah.
That's what I'm curious in terms of like, what you guys think. But like, we're just stock like this, we're the catalyst like this. I mean, people could be selling the news, but this is one of those companies like I'm actually very bullish on a fundamental basis as well. So I don't know what the future holds. All I know is that it may not necessarily trade in the range of like $5 anymore moving forward. Like it might change its behavior soon. I don't know. So, yeah. What else you guys want to talk about?
I mean, do you want to talk about Tesla, Danny, or do you got to go?
It's up to you. But I haven't sent you the chart of my Tesla.
Well, you better get on it.
Yeah, I mean, I can stick around for another like 5-10 minutes.
Yeah, we can just go over Tesla because I know people were asking in the chat, and we're not really doing requests, but people are worried about Tesla, and because
are you worried? Okay, so let me put it this
19
way.
points
Are you worried?
yesterday.
Yeah, so
That was a big.
I'm a cat, so I'm not people's. I'm not worried. Mal's not worried.
Some people are really happy in Tesla, so I just want to to share my chart of Tesla with them, so that they can just feel
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, if Matt, you want to go through your Tesla charts, and then if you can do like a weekly or something like that, then just send it to Matt.
I mean, you can just send it in the group, and you can get it ready
so
if you want.
send you the daily chart first. So if you have time, you can just post it up.
Yeah, just get it ready on your screen, Kat, and then I'll switch
Okay,
it
cool.
to you.
Yep, no problem.
Are you worried, Matt?
Am I worried? Well, I did my video yesterday, and I'm not too.
I miss it. I still haven't got time to watch the video. I have to.
Yeah, I mean, it's just looking at this chart, it was kind of obvious what was resistance on the weekly chart, right? You can just see that 382 for the past month has been a challenge, right? The 221, it's always wicked above, closed below, and then it went down, closed a little bit higher, then it wicked above again and closed below. But yeah, I mean, it couldn't break the resistance. So what's it going to do? It's going to go retest support. And that's what I see it doing, especially when you look at the Ichimoku here. It just got in the cloud this week. And that means it took advantage of like the whole range of the cloud, really. It just went up. And then maybe next week it's going to go back down to test like the 204s or the 203 or 202 or 200, right? But I think the biggest thing for me about Tesla is this chart right here. No, that's the Dollar Tree chart. That's because Dollar Tree has the greatest impact on Tesla. No. The biggest thing is this, right? This 200 level. And I made a post on X just during the spaces. And out of the past 4 years, Tesla's only closed 10 monthly candles below 200, right? Only 10 of them. And the rest of them, they closed above. And the past 3 months, two months, it's been above that 200 level. And it's looking like this could be forming a new base. So even if it does go down, and even if it does wick below again, this month, I think the probability
You
of
could bounce easily.
the probability of closing back above is high, I think, no matter what. And so it's great to see pain in the early month, just so the month can close out stronger, I think, is what I'm really saying. But I can't be long-term bearish on this kind of a chart because of the symmetry. Like, you can see what happened with this orange level, how it was up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's doing the same thing here. It's up and down, up and down, up and down. So is history repeating itself? I think it could be for a chance to explode higher and higher and higher. So as long as monthly closes continue to close above 200, maybe 201, 202, I think this thing will eventually explode higher, and you'll see just a giant monthly bullish engulfing candle one day. Right? That's my true thoughts on Tesla. So is it a broken stock? No, because I think even Kat was talking about the 2-week Ichimoku, right? I'm gonna steal your thunder, Kat.
No, it's just a lot of energy that's being built out. You gonna steal the Thundercat? Okay.
Steal the Thundercat. Thundercats.
There's just a lot of energy that's been building. It's gotten rejected like 200,000 times already by the 2-week Ichimoku cloud from the top and bottom. So
but that's why. But that's why, like, somebody commented, it's a broken stock, but it's not. Like, look at this back here. What you're saying, 2023, it touched the top of the 2-week cloud, came back down my arc perfectly, touched the top of the 2-week cloud twice in a row. That's a month in a row, right? 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 plus 2, 4. And yeah, now it just went back down to test levels here, and it's getting rejected by the bottom of the cloud. So is it broken? No, it's following the math perfectly. So
yeah. This is a teenage boy who's is a story about a teenage boy trying to get a woman that he loves for years. And initially, when you're trying to get it, you're like you fail because you're a teenage boy. You're awkward. You don't shave. You don't shower. You don't know anything. You don't know how to talk to girls. So you get rejected, right? And you keep trying. you keep reinventing yourself. You keep going. Oh, should I shave? Yes, I should. Should I put on better clothes? Yes, I should. Should I get a job so I get a better prospect? Yes, I should. Right? And then should I put on certain perfume? Like what do other girls like? Oh, okay, So that's basically what's happening. It's the fundamentals are getting better. The metrics are getting better. P/E ratio is getting better. Meanwhile, the stock price just been doing nothing, just keep getting rejected by the same girl over and over and over and over again. You maybe I'm not saying that if you're a girl, you can still reject the guy because he's annoying, but I think that the story is that it's trying, and it I think it's building up a lot of energy, and I think eventually it's gonna work out pretty well. Yeah. So.
And I just wanted to go back in time here on the replay just to show you guys when Tesla got rejected on this 2-week cloud. The cloud is really thick in the future, right? You can see that here. And so therefore it's going to be resistance. And so if I just take off the replay and show you guys what it looks like now, the cloud is thin and it's even green, right? So it's like way different scenario when it first touched. So I think since the cloud is getting thinner and thinner and thinner in the future, and it's already flipped green twice now, right? And that I think this really, really is going to be a great support zone, especially with that baseline there, especially with my blue level of the GAN there. So like anywhere from 208 down to 200, I think could be phenomenal opportunity for Tesla in the future, simply because it's looking more and more bullish, not only on the monthly chart, but also the 2-week chart.
Yeah, so no still means no. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm like being a weirdo or anything like that. But do you think that Ashton Kutcher would have gotten Demi Moore when he was like 8 years old? There's no way, right? Like he has to grow. He has to. Anyway, I'm done with talking about that.
So you're saying the more persistent Tesla is going to be, the more it's going to succeed, is what you're saying.
In this particular case, yes, but I'm not trying to no still means no. Anyway.
All right, but I'll let you take over, Kat, if you want to show Danny's candles, if you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, after all that, you still want me to do it, huh? Okay, all right.
Yeah, because you
chart here.
There we go.
Danny's been quiet. I think he's confused.
Did I confuse you, Danny?
Okay.
I guess so.
All right, Danny. Here's your weekly chart. He's not going to endorse anything I just said.
Okay, can you just keep talking, Kat? Keep explaining my yellow candle.
Yeah, so basically, you're seeing a the weekly chart here. You do have a red ribbon that is still unfolding, is still pointing up.
Yeah.
And you did have a yellow candle about 6 weeks ago that has been playing out. It came back down. It found a
Yeah.
very, very strong support zone over here at the bottom of the ribbon, as well as getting close to this 178 level that has a very strong blue bar. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and it bounced back above, and right now it looks like it's maybe forming a little bit of a higher low. But anyway, that's what I'm seeing.
Okay. So to be more exact, so let's talk about the price level. For the yellow candle, so to engulf the yellow candle, we need a really close about $234.68. And actually, this week, Tesla was struggling to hit 235. Okay, but failed to close above it. So that's why the yellow candle has still been enforced. So 234 to 235 is a very strong resistance level on the weekly chart for Tesla. And I think this part aligns with what Matt has just mentioned, 234 or 235. So the strong resistance level for Tesla.
Yeah.
And yeah, and for for the red ribbon, so actually it keeps developing, and the upper boundary of the red ribbon measures at 210. Okay, so actually you will find that this weekly candle actually hits the upper boundary of the red ribbon, 210, and that will probably give some support to Tesla. So whenever I'm analyzing, so when I see the daily candle or the weekly candle hitting the upper boundary without without going deeper, so probably that might be just a pullback, or in other words, back testing the previous support levels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think so long as it doesn't go below $200, Tesla is still in the bullish trend.
Yeah. Now that we said all this is going to go under 200, isn't it? No, I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I don't know. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. Yeah. Yeah.
Because
I mean,
I
considering
think
the
it's
volatility of Tesla, nobody knows.
I think it's still fine, even if it's
Yeah.
like a wick below 200 for during the week. It's still going to be fine.
Yeah.
Just I want to see closes back above. That's all.
Yeah, like there you have people and cats like me who are like dying to buy under 200. I think it's not. Yeah. But
Yeah, but that's
anyway,
true. But yeah, retail's like, oh, if it goes under 200 again, I'm going to buy it. But then they're probably not going to buy.
Yeah. I mean, like it doesn't matter. I mean, I'm still DCing a little bit now, but if it goes into 200, I will see what I can do. Right.
But
It's stuck in a range. I guess is the moral of the story.
Danny, do you think like the retail accumulation increased this week because people were buying the resistance?
I think the retail is still not high, 30%.
No, but I mean, like it increased week over week, and I think like it always happens, in my opinion. Like the closer it gets to resistance, people are like, "Oh, I gotta buy and front run before it breaks out," and that's how they get crushed, right? And then it triggers all those stop losses, and I think that's what we saw on Friday or yesterday. That just a cascading of stop losses that people bought high, and now they have to sell, right? So I think that's why we kind of saw an increase of retail accumulation, just because they love buying resistance. Like they can't stop it. They just can't stop.
Yeah.
There's
on the
really-
daily chart, the resistance is 220 something, as
Yeah.
far as I remember. And on the weekly chart, 234, and people are just excited that
Yeah.
Tesla might break above the resistance level. But actually, it takes multiple attempts sometimes, now to break above the resistance level. So never buy at resistance level and try to DCA at support levels.
Yeah, which is getting pretty close to right now. Yeah.
There was really no reason for like Thursday to have like a few percent jump up, and there's not really any particular reason for it to go down a few percent, except for the fact that it's just following technicals, and they're just trying to manipulate you to grab liquidity from you. You are their liquidity. So.
Yeah, since the volume is very thin, they can easily just spike it up above the resistance and get people excited, and then just tank it.
There's like it's kind of tricky too. The market overall, there's like not much volume really over the last week or two, which is kind of crazy. But I think I see a couple of things. One is we're stuck in a range, and until we really break out of the yellow candle range, we're still stuck in a range until further notice. And the other thing is there's a little bit of bullish development happening here, where on the panel 2 you have a little bit of a green light turn into red, right?
Oh, it's
Yes.
it's a red bar too.
We
Yeah,
have
it's a
the-
red bar over there.
Yes,
Yeah,
we have
but
a
then
purple trend line.
yeah. So then the purple trend line is
Not too
back.
bad.
Right? Initially, it looked like you might be losing it, but now the purple trend line is back, right? There is a little bit of increase in retail and decrease in whale, sure, but I guess if you look at a higher time frame, it's still a little bit of an uptrend. It's hard for me to say. I think it's just stuck in a range. Even the RSI is telling you that it's stuck in a range.
Yeah.
So there's really not much to say, but I don't get too scared about it because Danny, your monthly red candle is still there, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I keep checking every day.
What's the invalidation of the red candle in the month? Do we have one yet or no?
What's the price for the invalidation for the monthly red candle?
Let me check. $200.85.
Okay.
That's on a monthly close, right?
Yes, monthly close.
So it can go below and then close above, and it's still fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So long as the last trading day,
Yeah.
close above this price, we are still on the track.
Guess what? The market makers just heard you, and now they're going to send it lower.
Matt, you are one of the market makers.
Luckily, we're not that popular yet, so the market makers are ignoring us. So we still got that edge. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm just a small account. I have like less than 5,000 followers.
You're a big cat.
Yeah, that's the real reason why I reset my account, because I don't want the market makers to know about me.
True.
Don't be evil, cat.
That too. All right, guys, it's been fun as always. I'm sorry we were not able to get to the chart request, but I just wanted to grab Danny, and we want to have a discussion because we always enjoy talking to Danny, and you all enjoy listening to his perspective as well. So
yeah, 我们太喜欢他的蜡烛。
I love you guys.
红蜡烛呀，黄
Yeah, 红蜡烛. Yes.
What does that mean?
Red candle, guys. Red candle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
红蜡烛.
Yeah.
红这个蜡烛啊。Anyway, yeah. I think with that note, I think we're good. So yeah, we'll try to catch each other maybe after spaces, because Danny, sometimes you go out and have fun and you come back late, so we will try to catch you.
I'm sorry.
No, you should have fun. You deserve it.
Yeah. Make sure you repost this too, so everybody can see it, Danny.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Perfect.
All right,
Thanks,
guys.
Matt. Thanks,
Yeah,
Kat.
take care.
You guys.